Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Jay and welcome to the channel, and welcome back to October Lake in Planet Zoo, a series where we're working on building this really large park situated in the Canadian Highland. And today we're going to be continuing work on the park by introducing one of my favorite animals in the game, the Chinese pangolin, and we're going to be giving it this really lovely indoor habitat. If that sounds good to you, please do consider giving the video a like if you do like it, and do leave a comment down below because I do love talking to you guys and hearing your thoughts about the video. And if you do enjoy this and you want to see more Planet Zoo content, please do consider hitting the subscribe button as well. I do put out Planet Zoo videos every week, currently on Wednesdays. Now with that introduction out of the way, let's talk about today's video and why exactly it is I'm doing a pangolin habitat when in last video's video I said I was gonna be doing the penguins. So here's the thing. The entirety of October Lake essentially evolved into a showcase for the Aquatic Pack DLC, kind of like animals and items, and I was very excited to kind of do all that. However, the king penguin and the grey seal I think I'm gonna make really big feature habitats for, so really kind of a bit more elaborate, a bit larger, probably gonna take a bit more time to work on, so that is going to be probably a little bit more time consuming to build. So I decided while I do that, like I'll do that off screen and I'll of course record it, but between my builds of that I will be releasing regular episodes where I build more conventional habitats. I'll still of course use items from the Aquatic Pack DLC because there are loads of great ones. For example, the 4 rocks like you see on screen right now, those are going to be everywhere. But I think this is a good way for me to keep content going without having to make you all of you wait like 2 or 3 weeks for me to get a penguin episode out or the grey seal out, because those are going to take a bit longer. But I think when they do come out they will be a bit more worth it. It'll probably be maybe another week or so, maybe another 2 weeks for the penguin habitat to be out, but I'm not 100% sure. I just found out I actually do have access to the community tab on YouTube now, so I'll either post there or on Discord, or probably both, when that's going to be coming out, so keep an eye on any of those. And if you haven't joined the Discord, the link is down in the description as well. Now let's talk about today's habitat. So like I said, Chinese pangolin, easily one of my favorite animals in Planet Zoo, also one we've done a habitat for before ages ago, like quite possibly nearly a year ago, back in Boomy Reptile Sanctuary, where I built a pangolin conservation center. Now this one's quite different from that one. That one was quite elaborate, very large. This one, while still somewhat elaborate, it's a lot simpler in design and is going to be a completely indoor habitat because these guys, see, pangolins are extremely sensitive animals and they are critically endangered, and they're very kind of like, it's important to keep them as comfortable and as safe as possible. So an indoor habitat I think works best, where you can control the temperature, keep out any like local wildlife that might enter the exhibit, like, you know, any sort of rodents or maybe like wild animals like raccoons or something like that. You don't want any of them entering the habitat. So it's a good way to keep them safe and also keep them comfortable, because you can really control their habitat, give them a nice ambient temperature and stuff like that. And I think making it like this also helps make it a bit more grounded, because in zoos the pangolin habitats are never super big. They don't really need an awful lot of space, and also it becomes very hard to spot them in much larger habitats because they're very, very shy, reclusive animals. In the wild, pangolins live in all sorts of different habitats, but generally forests, thick bamboo forests, rainforests, and they essentially kind of hide away a lot. So they are very, very reclusive, very hard to spot. So in smaller habitats you can keep them in an environment where they feel safe, because you can have a lot of clutter, a lot of logs, trees, shelters, little rocks, but they are also still visible to the guests when the guests want to see them. So I think this habitat really does blend both of them pretty well. Like the pangolin can hide away if it wants to. There's lots of rocks to hide behind. I make a little like makeshift little shelter as well to get them off the ground, and there's lots and lots of foliage I'll add later to again give them that sense of being more safe and more comfortable. So I think that turned out pretty good. What I made just now was just like a full little backstage pangolin access, so the pangolins can go in and out. I imagine back there would be like where the behind the scenes stuff would be, like a more sterile environment, maybe if the keepers need to look at the pangolins up close, or if there needs to be a vet visit, stuff like that. Because this is going to be an indoor habitat, it's going to have a glass roof, so you get lots of natural light in here, and it's going to, again, kind of emulate being outside without actually having the pangolins have to be outside, which I think looks quite nice. For the front here, we are going to use chain link, sorry, not chain link, whatever these fences are called. Not chain link, metal grid fences, I have no idea what they call, I can't remember. But also glass fences, of course. This, I think it's nice to have the visibility, and I think they look pretty cool as well. And here I'm just starting to add in more enrichment items. Of course, they have the little burrowing pit, and as you can see around this whole habitat, I've used loads of faux rock. I think it looks really good here, especially the scatterings of the smaller rocks. I think those look really, really nice. And over here, I'm starting to look at ideas for a little shelter for the pangolins. I ended up settling for putting a few of these planks up and making a little bit of a makeshift shelter where they can actually get themselves up off the ground and rest up there. So yeah, I think this habitat actually turned out really good. The only thing is I would have loved to add a bit more bamboo, but unfortunately because I added in the roof, and the roof is relatively shallow, so to speak, it's not super high up, the bamboo can't really fit, so I ended up using some of these saplings. I think they look quite nice as well. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with how the habitat turned out, and I think it looks really good in the end. So today's episode is much shorter than usual, but I hope you enjoy it nonetheless. We only have about, we're more than halfway through now, I think, of the habitat build itself. But yeah, I was really glad to get to build for the pangolin again, because they're one of my favorite animals in the game, and one of my favorite animals in real life, period. They're such, interesting animals, and not a lot of people realize they're actually a lot more diverse in terms of species than you might think. For example, the Chinese pangolin is one of the more famous ones. It is critically endangered, unfortunately. It's the most trafficked mammal in the world. But there are other species of pangolin. For example, if I'm not mistaken, there are 4 African species of pangolin. And those ones, out of those, they are slightly less endangered. The critically endangered ones are the 3 Asian species, so the Southeast Asian Sunda pangolin, the Chinese pangolin, and I can't remember for the life of me what the third one is, but it is the other Asian pangolin species. But the African ones aren't doing as bad, although they are still endangered. 2 of them are vulnerable, and I believe 2 are not critical, just endangered, which is really a shame. These are beautiful, brilliant animals, and I love them to bits. They just absolutely adorable, but it is such a shame how endangered they are. It is generally the wildlife black market in terms of pangolin meat, in terms of getting their scales for traditional medicine, which again has no basis in science. There's no need to be hunting pangolins for traditional medicine and stuff like that. It's just such a shame, because they are beautiful animals. So, if you are aware of the pangolin, if you are aware of any causes that support for pangolin conservation, a lot of zoos do. Definitely support them in any way you can, because they're brilliant animals. They're really, really cool. They're just very interesting. They curl up into a ball. They're the only mammals with scales. They have a really cool prehensile tail to hang from trees from. Very cool. But yeah, that's just me talking about pangolins for a bit, because they're amazing and they're the best. Yeah, I'm just finishing up the roof a little bit. As you can see, it actually took me quite a long time to get the shape of the roof right. I tried to make it curved, but couldn't get that to look right, so ended up with a square roof with this opening up here with the fabric, and I put in a little banner post on either side, so it looks like, okay, at night or if it's raining, you can just roll that up so it's kind of taut and it doesn't let the rain get in. But I think it looks pretty good. Lets a bit more, I imagine, gives a little bit of ventilation as well for the pangolin, so maybe on hotter days and stuff like that. Here, just quickly adding in the sign on the side that says pangolins. I have labeled almost all the habitats so far, I think, so I think I'll keep going with it. I think it looks kind of nice. And I was looking for some way to kind of decorate this wall a little bit. I tried these mural pieces, didn't really like them as much. Just had a quick look around. I eventually settled on some of these Australian pieces, actually. But before that, we just put in this lovely little painting of a pangolin that comes with the base game. I think it's so beautiful. I don't know who painted it. It must be a member of the art team on Planet Zoo, but it is beautiful. just like the animal in itself in the game. The designers did a phenomenal job on making these animals. They look beautiful and just perfect. But yeah, like I said, use a couple of the Australian pieces here to make it look a bit more interesting and kind of, actually I haven't done it yet. I do tend to get ahead of myself a little bit sometimes. Yeah, it took me a while. I was trying to think of what works, but here you can see me using them. And I kind of wanted to vaguely be evocative of the pangolin scales themselves, so I think it looks pretty cool. I love doing glass roofs, just gotta say. They are absolutely stunning in the game because the game's lighting engine, seeing the sun reflect off the glass roof is absolutely incredible. Like, I love how that looks. So good. Here's me just adding in the pangolins. And I think in this final bit, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be covering up this green roof. There's a lot of staff buildings hidden underneath this. So to access the pangolin and the caiman, the staff actually go in here, which is kind of crazy because they're on two almost completely different elevations. So it's kind of crazy to think that they can access all of that through this hidden area over here. I didn't even realize, but it just happened to come together that way. So yeah, if you go back to the caiman episode, you can actually see the bottom part of that and how the staff could access it. But yeah, this is in general just me finishing up the tropical house. But yeah, I just want to say very quickly, we've actually come to the end of the video now. I just want to say thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I know we are nearly at 1,100 subscribers, which is amazing. Thanks so much for that. Do like the video if you did like today's video. Keep an eye out for any community posts because that's how I'll let you know if we start doing a penguin episode or a seal episode. I might live stream in the future. Keep an eye out for that. And as always, do subscribe if you want more Planet Zoo content. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.